Hi guys. So we were on the RC series and we will go with our fifth set. That is also level 1. Let's quickly do it. Again, we'll make a summary of every line. There was a time when choosing a route to work, health insurance, breakfast cereal required no more than habit and patience. Time has passed. Now inhabit what might be called culture of optimization, in which every decision, however could be a new word, but trivial means less important. So you can see that it is saying that in every decision, however trivial, so you can get an idea, non-important, is haunted by the suspicion that a better option exists somewhere. The promise of this culture is efficiency. Its cost, less often reckoned with, is a peculiar kind of paralysis. Again, often reckoned with, less often reckoned with. The reckoned means to less often considered or thought about, and peculiar is typical. But again, you can see that even if you don't know the meaning of these two words, you can see that this culture of optimization is new and causes paralysis, option paralysis, something like that. Consider the shopper standing with 40 varieties of olive oil. Classical economists assume the more choices you have, a rational agent would simply select whichever is best. But psychologist says that beyond a certain point, additional options do not liberate the chooser, they burden her. Each unchosen alternative becomes a small nagging counterfactual, a life not lived. The shopper does not merely pick an oil, she forecloses 39 other. So basically, it is saying that more choices doesn't mean more choices as per classical economist means it's a good thing, but is not actually a good thing. Good, but rather difficult, right? Each of which might be marginally happier with a different bottle. This would be minor inconvenience if it was confined to supermarket. It is not. The same logic now governs how people select career, partners, even friendship, all filtered through platforms that promise to surface the best match from an ostensibly limitless pool. Again, a new word, we don't need to care. The effect is not greater satisfaction, but chronic low-grade anxiety. All right. Sociologists have begun to describe this as maximizing behavior in contrast to the older, humbler disposition of satisficing, in which a person accepts the first option that meets a reasonable threshold and moves on. All right. So, this option paralysis is beyond food and maximizing behavior, where you consider all, versus satisficing, which is a new word. We'll see, but it says that satisficing is the person accepts the first option that meets. All right. It is tempting to blame technology alone, since algorithms are undeniably in the business of surfacing even ever more alternatives. But the deeper cause is cultural, a conviction inherited from a certain stand of enlightenment rationalism. But optimism is itself a moral good, that to settle is to fail. Conviction rarely examines its own premises. It assumes that value of choice can be computed in advance, independent of commitment. Yet, much of what makes a marriage, a career, a friendship valuable is generated retrospectively. Retrospectively, it's a new word, right? Through the very act of staying rather than through the antecedent superiority of the chosen option. Whoa, this is heavy. So basically, it is saying conviction rarely examines our premises, it assumes value can be computed in advance. So basically, value cannot. be considered computed in advance, but much later. That's what it is saying. You cannot really decide who you marry will be the perfect partner, but then you stay with them, you work out with them, and you make it a good choice. Very deep. None of this is an argument for indifference or for choosing badly, rather, a suggestion that endless pursuit of the optimal may be self defeating on its own terms, a rational strategy that produces irrational unhappiness. Satisficer, far from being a lesser reasoner, may simply have understood something the maximizer has not. That a life is not a portfolio to be perpetually rebalanced, but a narrative that acquires its value through duration and return. So, author is kind of concluding here, and he's saying that don't choose badly, but don't live to optimize. Kind of. That's what the author is saying at the end. He's giving his own opinion. All right, that's enough. We got 5 pointers for 5 paragraphs. One, two, three, four, five. We have not left any para. Let's go to the questions. Which of the following best captures the central argument? All right, what was the central argument? In general, we are talking about that people are getting crazy with a lot of choices and it is creating decision paralysis compared to historically, where people used to, if they want to buy something, they will just buy it if it is if it matches some threshold. And now people are like so worried that what if I miss a good option? Modern technology has made consumers irrational by overwhelming them with data. Could be. Uh, the pursuit of objectively best option in every decision can produce dissatisfaction rather than well-being. Yeah, this looks very true. Satisficing is scientifically proven to make people happier. So there's no scientifically proven in the passage. It is saying that it is one of the ways, historic ways, but it has not said that it is proved scientifically that it will make them happier. Classical economics was wrong to assume that human beings are rational. They've never even talked about human beings being irrational or rational. So C and D are definitely wrong. Between A and B, let's B is definitely correct. Let's look at A. Modern technology has made consumers irrational. All right. So it is completely different angle that with technology people are getting irrational, but it's more like technology has made decisions difficult. People are still rational, but they're finding it difficult to choose. So A is also wrong and B looks completely correct. The author mentions the shopper choosing between 40 variety of olive oil primarily to criticize supermarket for offering excessive product. No, author is not criticizing options or specifically supermarkets. Illustrate with low stake example the psychological burden. Yes, this looks good because oil is like such a small thing, but that itself is creating so much turmoil. So yes, he has taken a low grade example to show how it is everywhere, this problem. Demonstrate that classical economics have been empirically disproven. Nowhere it has been said that they're disproven, but yes, they have their own opinions. Argue that food related decisions are more stressful. So author has told us that this decision paralysis has moved beyond food. So D is definitely wrong, and I'll again take B. In the context of the passage, the word satisficing, yes, satisficing word, this kind of brings you back to that question that should I go through the questions first and then to the passage? Because if I go through the question and I see a word like satisficing, I can like push more, go deeper when I come across that word. It works for a few, this strategy, but personally, I would always suggest that you will hardly retain much information and you will kind of spend more time in browsing questions. So you can have like one look just to see that if the RC is manageable or not. But usually, I would suggest go through the RC, make summaries, and then go to the question, and then you can go back to the passage. Again, I have to go back to just confirm that satisficing means person accepts the first option that meets a reasonable threshold, right? And it is opposite of maximizing where they're considering all the options. Sacrificing quality for the sake of speed and convenience, definitely no. Accepting an option that meets adequate threshold. Oh, you use the exact word rather than searching for the theoretically best one. Definitely B. Systematically comparing every available alternative, that is optimizing. That is the opposite of satisficing. Delegating decision to algorithm to reduce personal efforts. No, there is nothing like delegating to algorithm. According to the passage, all of the following are true, except, so we have to find the wrong one. Be very conscious that are we searching for the right ones, the some option that is supporting the author, or we are looking for a wrong one, which is kind of not supporting the author, or it is opposite of what the author believes in. Some of the value of long-term commitment is created after the choice is made and not only before it. Yeah, this is what the author has said, and we have to find the wrong one. So A is correct. The author believes people should never strive to make good decision. Author has never said that people should never strive to make good decisions. So definitely B is wrong. I mean B is the answer because it is completely wrong of what author said. Maximizing behavior has extended from consumer choices to domains like career and relationship. Yes, it has been mentioned. So C is also correct. Barry's work is cited to support the idea that excess choice can reduce welfare. Yeah, so basically, we also saw that this guy is mentioned somewhere, and he said that beyond a certain point, additional options are only troubling. And this is what it is also saying that his work supports the idea excess choice can reduce welfare. So I've seen that A, C, and D are definitely correct, and that is why they are not my answers. And B is definitely wrong, that is why it is my answer. Author's tone throughout the passage can best be described as dismissive of psychological research. He has not dismissed anything, he's just thinking out loud. Analytically critical, questioning a widely held cultural assumption without lapsing into cynicism. Cynicism is also a very common word, and we should know a cynic is someone who doesn't believe into anything without a proper logic. So you will see it a lot, and this is exactly what is happening. Author is telling us, warning us, but at the same time is not saying that what is correct and what is not correct. So definitely uh, B could be the answer. Nostalgic and sentimental. There's nothing like nostalgia or anything. I mean, the author does start from there was a time, but at the end of the day, we are only talking about the present situation, and we're not comparing past and present because it's beyond past behavior and present behavior, but there is a part of that, a sentimental about pre-technological past. C also kind of looks correct, but not not as much as B. Alarmist warning of an impending societal collapse because of consumer choice. So you can get a feeling that definitely this passage is not like we should abandon technology or we should not have so many options. The author is just saying that is too many options a good thing? So between B and C, he has been critical, he has questioned, and he has not been a cynic, but he has been nostalgic and sentimental also. None of this argument for indifference or for choosing badly. Tempting to blame technology, option paralysis, no choices, not actually good. Value cannot be computed in advance. I think answer should not be C and should be rather B because of throughout the passage, the author has not like really compared old world with new world. It has rather just talked about why uh, culturally as what we have assumed is that you should really consider all the options before choosing. And is it a good thing? That's what the author's overall idea is. So I will go with B. Let's look at the answers. Yeah, fifth B. So it is all of our answers are B. Yeah. Also, if you keep on getting a same option every time, you will get doubtful, and most of the time it should not be like that. But if it is happening and you have already thought once, go with your gut feeling and just mark it. All right. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you now in level 2 RCs next.